Nintendo. Alongside PlayStation and Xbox, it is one of the big three of gaming companies, and it is arguably the biggest, with Mario being the undeniable face of gaming. To say Nintendo is massive would be quite the understatement. And truth be told, I would say that a lot of that popularity is deserved. I mean, I'm sure we've all had at least one fond memory of Nintendo from our childhood, whether it be the Wii Sports games or playing the new Super Mario with your family and friends, trying to sneak play your DS at bed at night, or trying to make the most ugly fucking Mii possible. If you grew up during the early 2000s, then there is absolutely no fucking way that you didn't play at least once on a Nintendo console. Playing all those 3D Mario games truly was magical, and it does make me regret not getting the Switch 1. And it just makes my disappointment in the Switch 2 even deeper based on how innovative the first one truly was. Now, I spread both my ass cheeks and shat all over this thing before it even came out. The sheer greed and laziness from this company was so fucking insane that the lead up made the Switch 2 look like it was gonna be terrible. However, apparently it sold like crazy. Everyone scuffed it down, it broke all kinds of records, and is now, allegedly, on track to beating the Switch 1. Even though when I went to the stores, it was on every fucking shelf. And from the looks of it, it didn't appear to sell out anywhere, but hey man, I'll just take your word for it, Nintendo. They would never misconstrue data. But apparently I was just wrong. Everyone loves the Switch 2. It's selling like hotcakes. The console is damn near perfect. Everyone loves the games. It's just fucking incredible. Oh. Wow. What a surprise. The company that consistently advertised a lazy cash grab dropped a lazy cash grab. Genuine question, is anyone surprised? Fucking hell. Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, Mario and Luigi. Welcome back to the channel. Or if this just so happens to be your first time here, then the button is there if you want to press it anytime soon today. But anyways, the Switch 2, a fairly controversial console. I'd say even more so than the PS5 when that shit first came out, which is crazy to say because everyone and their grandma was complaining about that shit. But the Switch 2 isn't the flawless launch Nintendo would like to make it seem. There has been quite a few unhappy customers, and there's been a shit ton of people just hating on this thing and wanting it to fail. Me being one of them. I fucking hate what Nintendo has turned into now. Mario is basically the Mickey Mouse of gaming. The company that I once grew up with is long gone. It's now just a room full of corporate cold businessmen instead of people who actually care about gaming. Even though I'm gonna sound like a Nintendo hater, because I am. My hate isn't blind or baseless. There's a reason why I despise modern day Nintendo. I've already made a full video on this before. If you haven't seen it already, then you probably should, because there are some points that I'm just gonna completely gloss over to avoid repeating myself. But it's probably gonna happen anyway. Okay, it's the same topic twice, and I have the same problems. Now, when I made that first video, it was before the Switch 2 even came out. And now, today, the Switch 2 came out 4 months ago. And the problems that I had and said in the video are still prevalent. Nintendo, you greedy shitbags. Who the fuck do you think your audience is? I said this several times. These games are priced at a ridiculous rate. Even though I said Mario Kart World would be $90, it was actually $80. Oh my god, I am so sorry. That's still too fucking much. Like, looking at the gameplay of this game, it's alright. It's okay. Nothing to lose your mind over, but it's alright. It's not $80 worth of video game. It's just fucking not. And I even said this before the game even fucking came out and anyone even played it. This open world section looks fucking boring. It looks boring and is not a good selling point and does not justify an $80 price tag. And lo and behold, people aren't liking the game. I don't think I've seen a single positive video on this game. But am I gonna say it's bad? No, because I haven't played it. Because counter to several opinions, I didn't fucking buy a Switch 2. I said several times currently I do not want to support Nintendo. And unlike some people, I don't buy things I say I'm not gonna buy. But honestly, I don't know if Mario Kart World is shit or not, okay? I haven't played it. All my critiques come from outside sources or just me looking at the gameplay. I don't know if the game itself is bad per se. But what I can say is, it doesn't look like it's worth $80, okay? I'm sorry, it's just not. It's pretty fucking clearly an act of greed and nothing else, okay? It just is. But I don't want to hammer on Mario Kart all day, okay? I'm sure it has some redeeming qualities somewhere. But instead, this is a problem with every single game that has released exclusively to the Switch 2. Everyone likes to hone in on Mario Kart World here, but look at every other game on this console. What the fuck? $90 for the full Breath of the Wild experience. $90. I know I brought it up in the first video I did, but this is just fucking insane. This game came out in 2017 for God's sake, and released originally for $50. Why is it double that? It's a port. All they have done is ported an old game onto a new console. There is no need to make it more expensive. But these Nintendo fanboys will look me dead in the eye with a straight face and say, oh, but it's because of the graphics, man. The graphics are just so much better. That's why they had to times the price by 2. You know what? Okay, yeah, fine. Sure, whatever. Let's play a minigame then, shall we? I like to call it, can you guess which one of these is a Switch 1 game and which one is a Switch 2 game? Let's find out. So here we have A, and here we have B. Which one's which, guys? Can you tell? Which console is it from? I'll show it again. Here we have A, and here we have B. Which one's which? Go ahead, let me know. Alright, everyone got their answers? Very nice, very nice. Well, we're fucking wrong. Okay, you're wrong. They're both Switch 2. Yeah, $90 for that visual upgrade. And for comparison, this is what the Switch 1 looks like, okay? They virtually look the same. So you're just casually paying double the price for the same fucking product. Yeah, nice one, Nintendo. But this is the same for all the games on the Switch 2, okay? They're just fucking ports that look the exact same, but cost almost double. Why anyone wants this console, I have no idea. I genuinely don't know. All the games are double the price, the hardware costs fucking organs. You have to pay to use online, you have to pay to use a button on your controller, you have to pay to play the tutorial on how to use your console, you have to pay to speak online, pay to use cloud saving. Yes, saved data is locked behind a fucking paywall. Oh, and have I mentioned that these games average from $60 to $90? Have I mentioned that part yet? This is mainly due to expansion packs, because instead of adding DLC into the base game, they decided to still sell it separately, even though most of these games came out 5 fucking years ago. This is what I'm talking about when I say this company is just full of gluttony. This is insane, and is one of the biggest reasons I genuinely dislike Nintendo now. They're asking for way too much and providing way too little. I mean, a 480p camera? Are you taking the piss? Are you taking the fucking piss? A multi-billion-dollar company asking top dollar for a camera that's outdated by 20 years. However, there's still a saving grace. Semi-recently, Nintendo had released another Switch 2 Direct, mainly to show off some new projects and some new games coming up, and to mediate some of the backlash. But this was their chance to show Switch 2 buyers that they shouldn't regret their purchase. Nintendo's cooking something up, guys, and we should all be excited. Everyone should be excited. This is the new Switch 2 Direct. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch it. I was serious when I said I was done with this company. Until they get rid of their anti-consumer practices, I'm not buying from them. I don't own a Switch 2. There is literally nothing in here that could possibly appeal to me. Unless they half the price of quite literally everything, which some would still be too much, then I'm just not gonna be involved, okay? Nintendo, you're just not gonna see me. But even after this Direct, which was supposed to save the Switch 2, I don't know why it would need saving if it was such a big success, but okay, anyway. People still weren't happy. In fact, people were actually quite upset. Oh god, Nintendo, what have you done now? What could you possibly have done to piss people off? I genuinely don't. Fucking hell! Mario Galaxy, a game which came out in 2007 for $70. Are you crazy? Oh wait, no guys. Oh, I'm so sorry. It comes with Mario Galaxy 2, a game which came out in 2010. 20-year-old games. 20-year-old games being repackaged and relaunched for the cost of my fucking arm. Don't get me wrong, these games are amazing respectively. I love the Mario Galaxy series. But this right here, calm down, mate. It's a 20-year-old Wii game. You're doing too much here. This is like Sony consistently repackaging The Last of Us and selling it over and over again with a different cover. But the difference is, PlayStation players aren't this stupid. Nintendo fans are unfortunately that stupid. This is their third time repackaging and reselling Mario Galaxy, and each time it's gotten more expensive. There is no way I'm the only one seeing this. They keep doing it. We all see when PlayStation does it and no one falls for that shit. But when it's Nintendo, all of a sudden everyone starts foaming at the mouth. And I can already hear the Nintendo cock goblins. Oh my god, but it's 2 games in 1, bro. It's 2 games in 1. Don't be dumb. There is no way a 20-year-old port would hold the same value as a modern-day retail price game. And even Nintendo know this. That's why they sold the 3D All-Stars game for $60. That's 3 games for the price of $60. And some would even argue it wasn't even worth that, given how shit those ports translated to modern-day hardware. These two combined should cost $50 at worst. There is no reason why a port of a game, not even a remaster, a port of the game should cost this much. I swear to god, if you put Mario's face on anything, Nintendo fans would buy it. Now $70 for 20-year-old games is ridiculous, to say softly, but it's not even the worst one here, because I think that title goes to the next Pokemon game, which is $70. A bit steep and very ugly considering it drops on the Switch 2 and every game on here is $70. But the game looks like this. What the fucking hell is this? Genuine stinker. This game looks like shit. May I remind you that this is a multi-billion-dollar company. Multi-billion. And they muster up this. My days. It looks like a mobile game ad you're forced to play 30 seconds of before you can skip. And they're asking for $70. You can kiss my cock, you dickhead. This is what I mean when I say they're asking too much for too little. What is this? No wonder they want to get rid of Power World. I mean, if this was my competition and this was my product, yeah, I wouldn't want to compete either. And that's not even the bad bit. They already have DLC for this game. I'm sorry. What? The game hasn't even released yet, and they already have extra content locked behind the paywall. That's how it's done, okay? That's how you create goodwill with your console. Another $80 banger. I mean, who wouldn't want to spend $80 on this? This looks amazing. Worth every penny. I mean, this thing costs more than Ghost of Tsushima, God of War 3, Red Dead 2, and GTA 5, and basically every modern game you can think of. I mean, who would even want to play all that shit anyway, okay? That's just garbage, right? We're here for this. This is peak gaming right here. And the DLC is releasing on the first day of the game's release? Oh, this is the best game of all time. Can't wait for the new Pokemon. Stop buying this shit. Jesus. Nintendo fans are so dumb, the idiocy is starting to impress me here. Trivia question here. Why do you think Nintendo doesn't put the DLC in the base game? Try not to think too hard because the answer is pretty fucking obvious. Money. It's pretty obviously money. They're purposefully removing content from the base game just to have you buy shit that was supposed to be in the original game anyway. This is the clearest cash grab I've ever seen in my life. How is this legal? And I think the worst thing is Nintendo fans will still somehow find a way to defend this. They will buy this day one, buy the DLC day one, and see no issue. You're being scammed. But it just gets better, ladies and gentlemen, because not only is there the game and the game's day one launch DLC, but there's also post-launch DLC for this game. 2 different DLC packs before the game has even come out. And the DLC costs $30. $30 fucking dollars, which makes the total cost of this game $100 for a fucking Pokemon game, which looks like absolute dog shit, by the way. But even after spending all of that, you still don't get the full content of this game, because there are multiple mega evolutions of Pokemon which you can't get unless you play online. Now granted, most people who are going to be playing this game are going to be playing online anyway, so it is a moot point, but that doesn't change the fact that this game's extra content, which even if you pay for the DLC, you can't access everything unless you pay for Nintendo Online, making the full experience of this game cost $120. And it's not even out yet. That's more than I bought my Wii for. And that console came with 2 free games. How is this the same company? And some people out there will genuinely argue tooth and nail that this isn't greed. That charging customers for content that is already in the game isn't greed. The code is already there. They can easily put it in the base game, but no, they're gonna charge more because you're still gonna buy it. Nintendo tards are blind. I swear to God, they can't see. They just love endlessly throwing money into this bottomless, soulless company. And this isn't even the first time they've done this. I mean, just take a look at the new Donkey Kong Bonanza game. I know everyone loves this game. This game is beloved. It was made by the people who made Mario Odyssey, okay? And the game does look good. And I even said this in the original video. If there was ever going to be a reason why I buy a Switch 2, it would be for this game. However, let's not forget what company we're talking about here. Because on release, this game costs $70, which it's not great, but it's not egregious compared to some others on here, considering the content provided. And the fact that this game is almost universally loved by everyone. But just 2 months after the game's released, it's already received DLC, worth $20, making the full cost of this game $90. A bit of a steep one for an offline 3D platformer. But besides that, 2 months? Really? Now, I'm no game developer by any means, but I'd imagine that an expansion pack that costs $20, which is the price of some games, would take more to make than 2 months. So the only 2 things that could have happened here is that Nintendo scrapped together some bullshit, slapped $20 on it and called it DLC, or they cut content from the original game and are now charging you for shit that was supposed to be in the base game anyway. You're not slick, you pieces of shit. That's like God of War completely removing the final battle from the game, releasing the game, and then dropping the final battle as extra paid content. Please tell me, Nintendo fans, what is the point of that other than making extra money? It's greed. It is plain and simple greed. But look, okay, you're paying all this money, at least you get to own this stuff, right? Right? Yeah, no. Digital fucking keycards. Now look, okay, I'm a man. I can admit when I was wrong. And on this part, I was wrong. I said that all games on the Switch 2 would be on this digital keycard, which is not true. If you get a first-party Nintendo game, they will come on a physical cartridge, which is nice. I mean, I'd fucking hope so, because you're spending all this money. But as for third-party, you're not getting shit. A large majority of third-party games will still be using digital cartridges, meaning that you will never truly be able to own them. You will get a key that will send you to the Nintendo store and you will be able to get the game online. Even if this isn't a problem that affects first-party games, it's still a problem for all the others. So if you buy this, you don't own this, you just own the ability to get it online. And if you don't see a problem with that, then clean the Nintendo spunk out your ears and listen carefully. These digital Nintendo stores, within due time, will close. The Wii shop closed. The 3DS shop closed. The Wii U shop closed. Meaning that in 10 to 15 years, when the Switch 2 shop closes, this will be fucking useless, giving it no trade-in value, no resale value, and making it just another object you can shove up your ass. So to correct myself from the previous video, not all games are forced to digital cartridges. It's only the games that are third party. In other words, every game that doesn't cost 70 to 90. So, good luck with that one. Now, another point that I was pretty big on, and a big point of contention for me, was these controllers. More importantly, the stick drift, when the analog stick becomes worn and starts drifting in a certain direction. This was a massive problem for the Switch 1, and is almost what those controllers were known for. And I said this in the original video, they are doing fuck all about it. They're not using Hall effect to mediate stick drift. In fact, if you mod your hardware in any way, they could potentially brick your console, making it fucking unusable. They are doing absolutely wank to mediate stick drift here. But honestly, I'm not too surprised, okay? They've known about stick drift for ages now, way back on the first Switch, and one of their original responses was to release the Switch Lite. So if you get stick drift on there, instead of replacing the controllers, you have to replace the entire console. Fucking genius there. But they're not greedy, guys, okay? They're just trying to make money, okay? They just want money like everyone else. Even though they're a multi-billion-dollar company and are cutting corners by selling digital cartridges, cutting content from games and making you pay for them as DLC and making you pay to play it online. But that's not corporate greed, that's just Nintendo caring, because they care about us, guys. They care so much that they're still using the same shitty manufactured controllers. And people are already experiencing stick drift. It's been 4 months. And he's already gotta replace his controller. But wait! I hear all the Nintendo fans scream in unison. If you experience any controller issues, Nintendo will fix it for free. Whoa, wait, really? That's actually quite impressive. Even though that kind of sends the message that you're not confident in these controllers lasting very long, and also indicates that they're poor quality, but hey man, free repairs. Even if this feature is pretty neatly tucked away, it's a nice one. Good job, Nintendo. What? You thought there was more? I can compliment these guys if they do something good. Besides, no offense, but if a controller is experiencing stick drift in the first 4 months, Nintendo, that's a shit product. This is a multi-billion-dollar company and they're charging me almost $500 for this thing. I expect top of the line. But regardless, free repairs, can't complain there, right? Right, Nintendo? No drawbacks there? Oh my god. There's a 1-year free warranty. Granted, that's still pretty good, given that they've proven that they'll break before that time period. But if your controller's a year old, you're fucked. Because at that point, you gotta buy a new one. How much is that gonna cost, you ask? Mate, that's the price of 2 PS5 controllers. $100 for 2 dildos. Nintendo, you have lost your fucking mind. Defend it! Now go on, defend it! Go on, Nintendo fans. Find a way to defend that. A DualSense PlayStation 5 controller cost half of that. And is worse quality by a lot. I ask this once again. Why do people buy this console? Genuine question. I can't comprehend how much of an understatement the word overpriced would be to describe this thing. It's a $500 portable PS4 at best with $90 games, with most of the content being locked behind DLC anyway. And these games aren't even new. They're fucking old! Nintendo fans are being served up old games for double the price and they're still buying it. Oh my god, they're still buying it. And at this point, Nintendo's just rubbing it in your face. They have the audacity to sell a $20 voucher. What the fuck is $20 on this store? You can't even use this thing! Apart from what? Oh, Claws of the Furry. Can't wait to play that one. I swear, this whole console is just a social experiment just to see how much Nintendo can get away with. And it's fucking working. They could sell a button and a shoelace as long as it's got the Nintendo logo on it, it's making sales somewhere. I understand FOMO. I understand not wanting to be left out on the great new Mario, but sometimes it's just not worth it. And I say all this, and then there'll be people that go, oh, why do you care so much? Just don't buy it. Just don't indulge in it. And as I said in the first video, I'm not. But most importantly, this will affect gaming as a whole. If other gaming companies see Nintendo get away with charging $80 for a game, it's gonna give them the confidence to also boost their prices, which I don't like, because it's gonna lead me to miss out on games which I want to experience, but I can't because I don't want to sell an organ to play it. And we've already seen this phenomena happen with the 2K games, Spider-Man 2, and most recently with my beloved Sonic Racing. This game dropped at a retail price of $70. To which I say,
corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved. Yes. But if I'm part of that corruption, I'll defend it.
All jokes aside, no kart racing game should be over 50. I love this game. I've been waiting for it for a long time, all the way back since Transformed. I fucking love that game as well. But this game isn't worth that price tag, and arguably, no game really is. But I have a feeling that the only reason why this game is as expensive as it is because that dickhead over there. But I'll give most of these games a little leeway because they've only done it one time to my knowledge, whereas Nintendo, they have quite the track record. And because these games are region locked to buy a $500 shitty console, whereas the others are on all platforms. 2K 2026 might have a different price from when it's on Xbox or PlayStation, whereas on the Switch, the prices of these games aren't gonna change ever. However, I'm not gonna defend this. Okay, $70 for a game is fucking ridiculous. I don't care if you're competing with Nintendo, it's still insane. If you want to compete in sales, then don't raise the price, make better quality games. But my final point is one that I made in the beginning of my first Switch 2 video, but I never truly touched on. What is the point of this console? It doesn't push any boundaries, it isn't revolutionary, most of their exclusive games aren't even fucking complete. This thing is very obviously a scam, if that wasn't already clear enough through the visuals being boosted by an expansion pack. What the fuck? If your game was able to reach higher quality, why don't you just add that to the base game? Why do you have to pay for that? That literally means that they are making the games look purposefully worse and locking enhanced visuals behind a paywall. Switch 2 hate is not forced, it's deserved. Fuck this company. Selling Wii games for modern day gaming prices is greed. Selling Switch 1 games for double the price is greed. Cutting content from a game and selling it as DLC is greed. But most importantly, selling an overpriced console and forcing you to pay to play online is greed. The purpose of this console is a cash grab. It's a fucking scam. I will never understand why Nintendo fanboys can't see this. I'll admit this right now. Nintendo exclusive games are mostly great. Mario has been on a generational 30-year run and his games are fantastic. But outside of that, this console has no redeeming qualities. It is a ploy to make money and nothing else. No innovation, no brand new fresh ideas, just Nintendo fanboys storing their money at a company that would burn them alive if they could raise their stock by a penny. I saw it a long time ago, but I think you should too. The people who made the Game Boy, the Wii, the DS, and fuck man, even the first Switch aren't the same people who made this. And continuously buying their products just because it has Mario's face on it is just plain ignorance. I'm not gonna say you're a bad person for still wanting to support Nintendo, however, I do think you're an idiot. I mean, for God's sake, they're suing Power World. Fucking Power World. It's a small indie game. I'm probably gonna make an entire video once the lawsuit stuff is all over and we have the full details, because right now it's a bit up in the air. I mean, Nintendo has changed the pattern of the lawsuit like 4 times now. But all I can do now is pray they don't win, because the last thing they need is more fucking money. But oh wow, Nintendo is still greedy and the Switch 2 is still a scam. In other news, grass is fucking green. But anyways guys, this is in fact the end of the video, and if you liked, please leave a like, and if you didn't, then feel free to degrade me in the comments. And yes, I know, it has been a long time since my last video. But I'm sure some of you are fine, because if you didn't know, which You shouldn't. It's a secret. I had a super secret second channel, which I was posting on during the time off, with me just posting short format, barely edited videos. So if you'd subscribe to that, that would also be quite nice. But with all that said, all my links and socials are in the description. Feel free to follow me on anything. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. But until next time, make sure to drink your water and get enough sleep at night. Okay, goodbye.
Would ever want to smell them. Hey Mario, want a sniff?
Shut up and take my money.
Dylo, no, I gotta keep my fire on. Fire on, fire on, fire on. Yeah, my whip, I'm flying. That girl on my left, that bitch on my right on. Damn, your heels, they so high, yeah, get your height on. Yeah, smoke that guy like Shaq, told that guy I ride on. Dipping that gold, yeah.